thanks for making time talking with me today.
Yes, thank you.
What have you thought of content marketing world so far?
Well, you know what? This is my first time here.
Okay.
It's the third time for our company, but it's my first time, and I like this show a lot. Actually,
Yeah.
I've become a little jaded with some trade shows from an ROI perspective as a vendor, but this one's been great.
Yeah.
A lot of I've had a lot of great conversations. People I find are at the show are actually really seriously looking for technology.
Yeah.
You know, they're building out their MarTech stack and they're looking for stuff, and so they're asking really smart questions about the platform. So yeah, and it's been fun. You know, there's been some great events and parties and things like that. So it's a good show. How about you?
Lots of parties. And
Yeah.
you have a new role as
Yeah.
CEO.
Yeah. So I came into the company was actually called Marketing.ai.
Sure.
And then I came in December as the new CEO, and we renamed it, rebranded and everything to Mintent, which is marketing with intent. So
Sure.
it's a little more aligned with our brand and more appealing to our persona kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
and you're new as well, right?
I am.
So,
Just started ScribbleLive
Yeah.
about a month ago here, middle of the summer,
Yeah.
or end of the summer, I guess.
Yeah.
And I've been spending the whole time on the floor talking to people coming by, asking questions, you know, trying to find solutions to workflow problems,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
politics. You know, everybody sees the same barriers. But fourth year at Content Marketing World for me. So
Oh,
that's,
wow.
you know, I've been here a few times, seen it grow.
Yeah.
Really, really interesting.
What brings you back? Why do you keep coming back every year?
Why do I keep coming back?
Yeah, what's the draw?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people I know, right? So
Yeah,
you reconnect with them,
Yeah.
and then you meet new people.
Yeah.
I don't know, did Joe maybe even ask that in one of the sessions how many people were new? I think
No,
there's
I'm
always
sure
a
probably at the opening
big
keynote.
number. There's always a
for
big
sure.
number every year.
Yeah.
So you run into new people, you get to connect with them, you get to talk with them. So
Yeah.
a new experience for me to just kind of be out on the floor,
Yeah.
answering people's questions and you know, trying
Yeah.
to help them or see
Yeah.
see what you can.
What's your role? What's your sort of
yeah
mandate there, or your
my mandate?
your job
Interesting.
description, I guess.
Yeah, so VP of Content Marketing.
Yeah.
So basically what I do is I help people with their strategy, right? So any
Okay.
software,
You help your clients with their
Right.
content
So-
marketing strategies.
right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
any software really is only as good as the strategy that it's used for, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
yeah.
so that's
yeah.
what I do.
Yeah.
When people come in, you know, we offer them strategic advice, right?
Mm-hmm.
And basically they can hire us for those services, and then you can buy whatever piece of the platform you need, or you can
To
buy
support
everything.
The strategy. Yeah,
Um,
that makes sense.
So that's really my background, you
Yeah.
know, the training and
Yeah.
and strategy and then implementation.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. And
yeah.
you guys create the content as well for
So we have
people?
right.
Yeah.
So we have one platform that does that visually. You can hire freelancers. They're
Yeah.
vetted by talent managers, and
Yeah,
then
that's
basically
good. That's good.
you can hire them.
So
It's
you're not
really
out in the
cool.
wild trying to
Right.
find your own.
Fingers crossed that
I hope
works.
this works.
So yeah, what prompted you to take your new role?
Well, you know, I've been in software for my whole career, you know,
Uh-huh.
23 years, and in different roles, sales, marketing, product management, and I've been a CEO before. And it's a company based in Vancouver where I live. And a friend of mine who's on the board approached me and said, you know, I'm on the board of this company that's looking for a new CEO, and I know you're a marketer, and come in and check it out. And so for me, I did quite a bit of due diligence more on the market. You know, I wanted to make sure if I was going to join a company that like where it was in the adoption life cycle. And so after talking to the analyst and you know, just contacts of mine in the industry, I realized most people don't even know this category is a category yet. You know,
Right.
by and large, it's greenfield. Like we're not, you know, people are using spreadsheets, or they're using their whiteboards, or they're using project management software, just trying to make it happen. And so I thought, well, as a marketer, a longtime marketer, I know the need for the software personally. And, you know, it's a right time to, you know, be a company in this space. I love marketing and I love software. So it was all those pieces. It was in Vancouver. And then I looked at the software itself and met the people in the company, and all the stars aligned. And it just seemed like the next right move for me. So
And how many people?
Right now we're about 15 people.
15 people.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yep.
So we're small and growing quickly, kind of up and coming.
Yeah, I definitely see there's going to be a growth in
Yeah.
people using better software
Yeah.
solutions.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I mean, the Word documents, I'm still amazed how many people send back and forth Word documents.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then after all that work, they publish the wrong one.
Well, yeah. You know what? When people go, well, what are the pain? What's the pain of the marketer? And I'm
Right.
like, well, there's definitely that pain of, you know, emails crossing in the night and, oh, okay, I spent all night working
Right.
on this document. Ooh, you worked on the wrong version, right?
Right.
That happens all the time. Or, hey, we're going to content marketing world. Why don't we look at the stuff we did last year and just see if we can, you know,
Right.
where is
Repurpose.
it? Oh, it's on that guy's laptop. He's not here anymore. So just storing all this stuff in a central place
Right.
is still a big problem.
Or it's on some letter drive, 39 folders down. You have to have 2 weeks.
It's on the
of
J
onboarding.
drive. Here's the URL, you know, that
Oh
you
my
got,
God.
you know. So that's a pain. And then the spreadsheets that people, the very elaborate spreadsheets that people build to manage this, that just, it's like a piece of software in its own right, become just outdated, unmanageable problem. You know, and then just, you know, visibility as to who's working on what and when are things due and you know, all of those things. It's kind of just, they've been problems in marketing forever, but now that we're producing more and more digital content, getting more people involved, more freelancers, more agencies, it just, the problem becomes kind of, you know, exponentially greater.
So why do you think there's still so many people using those outdated tools? Why is it not changing quicker?
It's what we know.
It's what we know. It's hard to change, right? Yeah, it is.
Well, you start with something that works good enough until it doesn't.
Right.
And then you don't know if it exists. You come to a show like this. Like, I can tell when the light bulb goes on to people. There's a lot of people that know content marketing platforms, and they're around and they're just trying to go, how are you different than you and you and you?
Right.
But there's some people that just kind of go, what is that? Oh, it's an editorial calendar. Oh my God. And I can click, and they just immediately, their face lights up because they're like, you can do that? Right. And those are the best kind, right? You know, those people come in and they buy pretty quickly, right? So yeah, I think it's just what people know, and they, it's easy, cheap, already there, you know. A lot of people use, they'll use Jira or they'll use Asana or something, and they're like, well, we already have it. Our developers use it or something, you know. So it's like square peg, round hole. It just happens all the time, though, right?
Yeah,
so,
it's interesting.
Yeah. So how about you guys? What is your I don't know. Where do you see the market going? You know, what do you see as what pains do you solve for the marketer, and where do you think that goes, and how are you keeping up with all that?
People are creating more and more content than ever, right? I mean, everybody is doing that. I know we have the experts, some of the experts, who say you should do less content, but you should be more deliberate or whatever the term is. And I think that's baloney, quite frankly, because when you look at what they're doing is they are creating more content than ever, right?
Oh, you mean it's baloney that they're actually doing
that they're
it?
even saying that they're saying create less content, be more deliberate. And I'm like, I'm creating a lot of content and I'm very deliberate, but I'm not creating less, I'm creating more. And so are they. So
it's hypocritical.
It is I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to get you to think about, let's be more deliberate. Let's be more, like, put a strategy behind it, know who you're writing for, know why you're writing it, right? What's the purpose? And so I do see a switch in the market where people will be quicker to publish, right? But they will be more deliberate. And they, you know,
so not either or, both.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I'm one of those guys that says, hey, you know, you don't need more content, you need better content, more intentful or whatever. But I agree with you. I mean, the important thing is that you have the strategy and you know why you're creating the content. And of course, if you have that in place first, and then you can rapidly put more of it out, then that's going to be better.
And and what's good content or not, it's totally debatable, right? And it's so debatable.
Totally debatable.
And I make my joke is I've made a career creating above average content that's highly unique. So I wrote a couple books. They will never ever win a literary prize, but they're highly unique.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people still read them. So what's good and what's bad, and so it depends on who the audience is, but you got to know who that is, right? So that's number one.
For sure.
So if you have a platform tied to your audience, right? So if you create content, you got to say this is who it's for.
Yeah.
And then what are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish? and then try to hit those goals, right?
Yeah.
And be deliberate. But one of my favorite stories is I was presenting a strategy to a CEO, and he said, "Great plan, Christoph. It'll come down to the execution." No kidding, right?
Yeah.
Because if
Yeah.
I'm like, well,
Yeah.
thank you for that word of advice. But if you don't publish, right?
Yeah.
It won't work, right? Like,
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
well is this piece of content performing that we haven't published? 0 views. You know what I mean? So you have
That's pretty predictable analytic too there.
That's one of my title, predictive analyst. No. But so that's kind of why I see the trend going. People are creating more unique stories, be more relevant to whoever they're trying to actually reach and serve. So what do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, I think it's a matter. It's you know, people always asking me like, what's working for marketing? Like what works and what doesn't? What tactics work and which ones don't? And I said, well, you know what? If you know if you have the right, targets, and you know their pain, and you have something that addresses that, and you message it in the right way, everything will work. Email will work, social will work, PPC will work, dialing out will work, being at a trade show will work. If you don't have that, nothing will work.
Right.
So it doesn't matter, the tactics in a way. Yes, you can tweak, and there's better ROI on certain things and all that, but it's ultimately coming down to that. And so, there is a big discrepancy when you ask users about what they think is important and what they need, and then what they're actually planning to invest in, right? Like, personas, buying journeys, strategy. But are you going to invest in that? Are you going to spend time doing that? Are you going to write it down? Are you going to invest in technology to do that? Yeah. No, we're going to outsource a lot of content to our agency. We're going to hire more writers. We're going to so even though they know they should do it, they want to do it. I guess it's like eating right and working out. We all know we should do it, but we just, I'm just going to go to McDonald's because it's right here.
Because it's right here. Yeah.
It's just, so.
So how do we get people to change their mind to, that they actually need the strategy, and that they got to write it down, because strategy not written down and not being able to be found, right, doesn't do you any good.
Well, I kind of think that it's something that'll hit a breaking point. People will get to desperation, right? Because they'll start going, holy cow, PPCs and SEO is expensive, and they're all those tactical things. They'll just start piling more money. And if you're a big, huge, rich company that could just do that, that's fine. But all companies that are constrained, which is most companies, that's not really working. I can't just do more and keep spitting out in every channel and that. So why don't we take a stab at this, doing a little bit more strategic and see how it works. So I think it's like, we'll keep doing it the way we're doing it till it just stops working. And maybe out of sort of the desperation or the need to try something different, we might go back that way.
Right.
Like kind of like we could speak and we could tell people and write books and stuff, but a lot of times people have to learn the hard way.
Right. They have to have some reason. Well, that is true. One of the reasons, so media companies, right, are changing quite a bit.
Yeah.
And my theory, and I've run this by some executives in the media industry. One reason why media companies aren't changing quick enough, because bottom line, they're still doing pretty well financially, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of have to feel the herd a little bit more to make a change. The problem I see with content is PPC campaign, it's successful when you run it, right? When you pay money for it, or it could be at least. When you stop, it stops, right?
Yeah.
But when you have content, when you have good content, it's out there forever.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Right?
You don't turn it on and off.
It goes on. It goes up and up and up.
Yeah.
And as long as you have good content, so that's a little sad for some organizations, because the longer you wait, the more time you waste, right? And then you wonder, why is it not working overnight?
Yeah.
So my recommendation always is, yes, have a strategy. Yes, write it down. Yes, use some kind of platform that fits your needs. But then go. And you can literally go from, I've seen it happen. You can go from strategy to the first piece of implementation in about a week.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You totally can.
No, I really do like the agile marketing concept and approaches, and we've done some webinars on that and had some of the thought leaders on that speak, and I really agree with that. The concept: start small, test it out. If it doesn't work, don't do it again. If it does work, expand on it and do more. And I agree. You can't sit around and and navel gaze and plan for 6 months before you publish a piece of content. You've got to do them in parallel. Yeah.
And things change. One of my favorite stories is we had a partner. So they tried something and it worked really well for like 2 months. And then Facebook changed something.
Yes.
Right? Who knows what they changed? We don't know.
Yeah.
But it stopped working.
Yeah.
So basically what you have to do, you have to ride these waves. It's working, do it. It stopped working, stop it.
Totally.
And you have to continuously adjust. And that's sometimes hard for organizations to remember, because they're like, oh, this is the new status quo.
Yeah.
This is the new thing. And even like today, I published a blog post right before this morning. I talked about when to ignore the best practices. Do you know what I mean? Because
totally.
So like we heard about all these best practices here in content marketing world, and now it's like,
they're not best.
Which ones do you ignore, and when do you do it? How do you decide?
Yeah.
So not always, but sometimes. So.
Yeah, and I think that's what needs to happen, is a new mindset for marketers, that it's not the same anymore. And you obviously, you have to know how to be iterative, and you have to know how to look at data, and you have to know, those weren't core skills that marketers had traditionally, and now they're essential. And so, it's just sort of a people relearning and new people coming in the industry that are just sort of native to that as a marketer. And it is a little bit of a transition period for the people that are doing it,
Yeah, absolutely.
The management and the tacticians.
Well, I really enjoyed our discussion.
Yeah.
And I bet you the millions of people watching at home, they've been wondering about our sock game. So you have you have a good sock game too.
Well, I've given away socks at shows, and someone said, way back when, that the sock is the new tie, kind of thing. It's how you, and I believe in that. So I'm like, why not wear something exciting? So I always have some kind of Stance is a really cool, brand of socks that I like, very comfortable. These are great white sharks. So I always, sometimes I coordinate with what I'm wearing, not always, but I like it. And you've obviously got the cool socks too. So what's your sock story?
So these are, it's the Pink Socks tribe. It's actually in healthcare. I was most recently in healthcare, working with large hospital systems on their content marketing.
Yeah.
But basically, Pink Socks, they look for change, right? They want to evolve healthcare. They want to get stuff done.
Yeah.
They want to make things better, right?
Oh,
as much as you can. So
are these an exception, or do you always wear cool socks?
So that's pretty much the only kind of cool pair of socks I have.
So normally you're just a black sock guy?
Normally black sock kind of guy. Yeah. And this is really, I only wear them at conferences.
Yeah.
Right. That's when you're supposed to wear them. People take selfies with them. Some people hold them up. So I'm not in healthcare anymore, but the story behind it still applies, right?
Yeah.
Because
it's a great story.
Because we always want to do something that's for the greater good, and of course help people tell better stories and create better content, of course. So.
Well, that's good, because people ask about them, and then it gives you that opportunity to tell the story.
They do.
It spreads.
Sometimes when I'm speaking, though, I mean to bring them up. I don't know if you've seen Seth Godin, who goes like this with his socks when he does
that's
some
smart.
keynotes.
Yeah.
And like I have them on, and then I forget about doing this, so then nobody sees them until I sit down.
Opportunity wasted. You walk off the stage. Oh no. Well, maybe I should get a pair of those, because mine are like, why are your socks? I'm like, I don't know. They have a great white shark on them. It's cool. I don't have I don't bring tears to people's eyes on my story about my socks. I would love to, though.
So it's
socks for a good cause.
hashtag Pink Socks.
Hashtag Pink Socks
on Twitter. So if you tweet at them, they can. They probably send you.
Send me a pair.
They
hashtag
probably
Pink
will.
Socks. Okay.
You just got to tweet.
That's cool.